Do you guys remember the old Yu-Gi-Oh days? The days when the most we had to know was synchro summoning monsters while playing? Those days to me were the simple days. Not too many toxic players or decks that were so complicated to play with compared to what they are now. Now, if you want to have a fun game, or if you want to keep on winning, or keep up with the new meta of Yu-Gi-Oh, you are forced to build a deck in order to play the game. For example, if you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, this is a very fun game, where you can build decks wherever you want, put whatever the fuck you want into it, and eventually, you can just play however it is. You can literally put, let's say for example, if you use a Pearly deck, you can stuff a DP in there. Does it fit? I don't know, but I've seen people do it. This is a very fun game. However, from my experience of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels for a couple years now, no matter how much you like to main a deck, for example, let's say you like to main a hero deck, right? You will be forced to craft a new deck because some elemental heroes in that deck cannot beat over a deck like, let's say, Tier Limits or Lady Labyrinth. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is constantly changing. The new meta of decks changes really fast. It's very hard to keep up and compete if you guys can't fully craft a deck and play against the new meta. For example, decks that I have played against that I know that are pretty difficult to beat in a fight are decks like Lady Labyrinth, Snake Eye, the new Yubel deck, Pearly, and the deck I main now, Kashtira. And Kashtira is one of my favorite decks I have ever played with. It's kind of a, let's first say, toxic deck in a way. If you guys play this deck, you know what I mean. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels is constantly changing. Matches are becoming longer than what they used to be, and people are coming in with new decks that I just never seen before. I remember I was playing a person who was using, I would say, Sprite or Tier Limits deck. I knew it would take them a long time to set up, so what I did was I went to the restroom, got some water, some snacks, washed up a little bit, and they were still setting up. And sometimes, what's worse, it could be my turn, and they will still play during my turn. Meaning they activate a trap card or some special ability that takes a long ass time to finish before I can even play a single card. And once they finish setting up, you just look at the board and they have like a whole complete board on their field. And you think to yourself, how the hell am I supposed to beat over this? He just literally played on my turn. Just thinking about this makes me think the new meta of Yu-Gi-Oh! Reminds me of how easy it was back then when you played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day. And probably what, like I said, the most you had to remember was the synchro summonings. But now it's like, you gotta know pendulum summonings, Link, XYZ. Honestly, XYZ isn't so bad, I actually do like it. But now there are different summonings compared to what it was before, with just special, fusion, ritual, synchro. And sadly, if you play Master Duels and you want to keep winning, you will have to craft a deck that probably you wouldn't like too much, because either it's not the deck of your choice, or you're using this deck makes you seem like a toxic ass player. However, in order to win matches and to participate in tournaments or events, you will be forced to craft those decks in order just to play in the matches. And as Yu-Gi-Oh! Continues to surprisingly get bigger, as it did in the early days, and for me, decks will continue to become more and more harder to, I guess, let's say, pilot. And in order to keep winning in the new meta, you yourself have to sometimes craft that deck in order to just keep up with the game. And even if you don't want to and you feel disgusted into doing it, if you want to keep winning and then keep like ranking up, you will have to make a deck. When Kashtira first introduced itself, I honestly hated playing against Kashtira because it was such a good deck against people who have Kashtira. I myself crafted Kashtira deck in order to play against them. Honestly, depends if you're a good pilot. If they are a good pilot, that will ultimately decide if you win the game. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe button. I'll see you guys later.